Welcome to Module 2. In this module, you will have a chance to watch a series of lecture videos, review resources related to our topics. You'll be able to complete a 5-question quiz associated with the content in this module. We'll have 3 discussions released on Monday of week 2 in this course associated with this module. So if you are doing these out of order, which is completely fine, do know that week 2 aligns to module 2, and that's when you can participate in the relevant discussions. Also associated with week 2 is a synchronous activity, and in fact this week it's a Twitter live chat. So I encourage you to participate in those. We'll have multiple times for those, and it'll give you a chance to play around with one of the technologies that we'll be talking about in this module. Finally, I encourage you to start working on your peer assessment. Particularly if you're pairing the modules with weeks in this course, this is the week before you'll be submitting your peer assessment. And you want to make sure to make those deadlines, because if you don't, it's very hard for you to submit late work. Student review is dependent on having all of these submissions submitted on time. So I encourage you to start working on your peer assessment if you haven't already. And then finally, check back on week 2, Friday, for my reflection video, where I'll help to answer some of your questions that you've raised in the discussions, help perhaps participate in the debates that I'm sure will ensue, particularly around this module and the use of social technology in the classroom. And it'll also give us a chance to prepare for the following week. Now, the theme for Module 2 is collaborative and social technologies. We're specifically going to talk about the use of learning management systems and virtual learning systems in general, but then specifically as a collaborative or social tool. We're going to talk about asynchronous discussions and how to have students participate at a distance in ongoing conversations related to the course or the content that you're teaching. And we're going to give you examples of different kinds of asynchronous discussions. We're going to talk about synchronous discussions and do the same thing, give you examples of different kinds of ways you can use a synchronous live classroom, and then help you think about why you might want to implement that in your own virtual teaching. And then finally, we're going to talk about social tools. Specifically, we're going to get into Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and Pinterest, and talk about specific lesson ideas for using these 4 social tools in your virtual K-12 classroom. Now, once you've finished this module, once you've watched those videos, completed the 5-question quiz, read through the resources that are of interest to you, and participated in the discussions in the live Twitter chat, you'll want to move on to your next module. Remember, you don't have to move in order. However, if you want to parallel the weeks of the course, each week maps to each module in order. You should continue working on your peer assessment and get prepared to submit it, unless you're starting this course a little bit later, and then you might already be in the phase of submitting that peer assessment. You want to participate in our social networks. I encourage you to go explore those, even if just to get a sense of how you may or may not want to use social networks in your own teaching. And continues to follow us on Emerging Trends MOOC in Twitter. Both those social networks and that Twitter hashtag have lived on through all 3 iterations of this course. So it's a great place to see not only what past folks have chatted about in the course, but then also what your current classmates are discussing. So I hope you enjoy the module. And as always, before you go into watching the videos and starting to participate in the discussions, think about what you may want to get from this specific to your own teaching, because that'll help you be more clear about how you want to apply or not apply the kinds of technologies that we're going to be talking about.